Hey everyone, welcome back to Master Your Coaching Biz, the podcast. And today's guest is Danielle Martins from Danielle Martins Branding. And she is a personal branding strategist, an entrepreneur, and a best-selling author, and a marketing expert with over 24 years of experience. So we're really excited to talk to Danielle today. Welcome here to our show.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited to share a lot of good information to help your audience.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, about me, as you already told your people, that I have been in the marketing and branding industry for over 24 years now, but for big corporations, About 5 years ago, I was working as a mentor, personal development mentor. I have decided to launch a book on personal development with a very dear friend of mine, Katarina Kozayas. But although we were working in very different walks of life, her was in media, I was in the personal development. We noticed that our clients, they were being held by the very same, kinds of paradigms, limiting beliefs. And we thought, why don't we write a book together that we can use as a tool for our mentoring coaches, her mentoring people to be on media, I'm mentoring people to be better in life, to do their heart desire. But we knew that it's not about only launching a book, right? We know that we need to invest in marketing. And our great differentiation was investing on our personal brands, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, the book was not important. The book was a tool. But we wanted the book to help us presenting ourselves better in the world. Okay, so we launched the book. It was a huge success, okay, in terms of projecting our image in the markets, bringing us opportunities, new opportunities for doing business, and very crazy increase in the income, and okay, we liked the result. And then I stayed a little longer in the personal development world, but then I decided to step back a little bit because my real passion is still working on marketing and branding. But this time I decided to start my journey on the personal branding, helping other entrepreneurs to do the very kind of same ripple effects that I have been able to produce for myself, which is, have increased credibility and authority and reputation in the market, so they can experience sustainable success. That kind of success that is always happening for you. It's not one only. I don't know how to say it in English. But yes.
Up and down, up and down. The roller coaster effect that we have sometimes. Yeah. So tell me, so it sounds like you're talking about really a brand and personal branding as well. So tell us the difference. What is a brand, and then what is a personal brand?
Okay, so every time you think of a corporate brand, okay, a corporate brand that you generally don't think only about their products or their services. Generally, you think of it in terms of emotional involvement, the feelings that brand evokes on you, the confidence, the trust, So there is a set of feelings that the brand evokes in people's minds and hearts, okay? So we call this the position, okay? The only place on earth where position happens is in the minds and hearts of people, okay? So this is a brand. It's not the product or service, it's the feelings that it evokes on people. And when we talk about personal brands, everyone already has one. One of the biggest mistake people think in the market is that, I'm going to build my personal brand. No, you are not going to build because you already have one. You are going to discover, develop, and extract what is your differentiation, because at the end of every interaction you have with every human being, be it online or offline, you leave an impression in their mind. You understand? This impression is your reputation, is your personal brand. So the way you leave people feeling about yourself after having an interaction with you, we call it your personal brand. The thing is, not everyone is consciously managing it. You understand? So, quote unquote, if you don't label yourself, somebody else is going to label you. But will it be the way you would like to be known by people? You understand? So, in this sense, there is your personal brand, which is the mark you leave in people's minds and hearts. And the personal branding process is the process that helps you to consciously managing those interactions. So at the end of the day, the result after your interaction is the most accurate possible with your heart's desires and goals.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's important that people realize that, the personal brand is, like you said, you already have it. And so if you're not being conscious about it and you're not controlling it, the rhetoric, the what's being said, then somebody else could potentially control that. We don't want that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are some kind of misconceptions around personal brands?
Because of the term has been a lot used these days, people are misconception, think that, okay, I have a logo, this is my personal brand. No, this is not your personal brand. This is only a way of communicating your personal brand. Once again, your personal brand is how people feel about yourself after having an interaction with you. But when we create a logo after doing the personal branding process, okay, what we want is that through every interactions, people have that consistency. If you think of Coca-Cola, for example, corporate brand, you will automatically remember the red in the red and white. You are going to remember the kinds of feeling. They are always striving for happiness, for magic in life. You understand why this happens? Why do you remember this? Because they are consistent in the way they project themselves. So the same way, when you talk about, oh, okay, I have my logo, this is my personal brand. No, this is not. This is only a way you use to communicate your personal brand as a professional in the marketing, Another very misconception people have. Oh, okay, I'm not an autonomous entrepreneur, so I don't need to develop my personal brand. No, my dear, you have. Why? Because even though you work for other companies, as an employee, you understand, you want to add value. You want your name to add value to anything that you join yourself with. So if you don't do this, if you are known like, for example, Cheryl from that company, Danielle from that other company, you at the end of the day become like a puppet from those companies because you lose your identity. So your career is not your identity. If you think of Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, you know that their name instantly instills trust in your mind. So if one of them would come here, materializing in front of us and say, hi, come here, Cheryl, I would like to start this new business with you. What would you do? What would you say? You understand?
Yes.
Please.
Please.
You understand? Exactly. Why this happened? Because they are on the top of the umbrella. They being the personal brands, they are the ones who add value, who add reputation to any venture or business that decide to start in the market.
Yeah.
So please.
Yeah, I love that because, and I think it's really important. Like you said, you're working even if you're working for someone else, your reputation, what makes you, a good worker, what makes you a good person, what makes you pleasant to be around, like why people would seek you out. If you're not building that personal brand, then that's not going to happen on its own. And, people don't think about
you want to be desirable in the market, right?
Yes.
You want to be that person that when people think, okay, whose IT guy I should be hired from, there is only one name that pops up in your mind. This person. Why? Because this person has built this reputation. So he is valuable in the market.
Yeah. So how can somebody use, personal branding as a differentiator in the market?
Your differentiation is exactly being who you are. When I say being who you are, Cheryl, I'm not talking about, coming on the social media and crying your life. No, what I'm saying about being authentic is delivering what you promise. You understand? It's talking less, delivering more. You understand? Why? Because what you do, anyone can do in the market, but how you do it, the reasons why you do it, what is behind the motivation that drives you to do what you do. No one can copy that, you being the one, the personal brand, you working on yourself, the differentiation is that anyone can do what you do, but no one can copy how you do it. You understand? So working on yourself is the best investment yet if you are in the marketing as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a business person. You understand? Because you want to develop that kind of reputation so people remember your name when they think about the product or service that you offer.
Yeah, and so that really can impact the growth of our business by being able to use the personal brand and grow the personal brand.
Exactly.
So what would you say are like the first kind of steps that people would take or should take in order to really look at what their personal brand is now and how to enhance it?
The first, as I was telling you before the recording, one of the biggest mistake I think is that people have the tendency to do it yourself with their career. I wouldn't advise this because, at the end of the day, you have to be good at what you do. For example, in your case, you are a coach. In my case, I am a marketeer. I am a brand manager. You understand? I have to be good at what I do. I don't need to know how to sew my clothes. Oh, okay, I can do this for hobby. But if I want to be taken seriously, why should I be the first person not to hire someone who can do it perfectly for me? You understand? So in this path where most people want to do it all on their own, okay, that is where the misconceptions happen. Okay, I'm going to hire someone to build me, to design me a very beautiful logo and a very beautiful profile on social media. But at the end of the day, did you do deep research on yourself before you trying to communicate in those things? Do you know what is behind the meaning, the intangible meaning behind everything you communicate? Because at the end of the day, everything about ourselves sends out a message to the world. Is that message aligned with who we are and what we want to go? Is it aligned to how we want to reach out those people we want to help? Are they understanding the way we communicate ourselves? You understand, as a solution that they need. So this is something I say all the time. Don't do yourself with your career. You understand? Because this is where mistakes happen. If you go on internet, you are going to see a lot of designers saying, I help you build your personal brand. And when you are going to dig down into the work, they are only the designer. Very, very important, very important part of the process. But designing a logo, designing a beautiful website or a beautiful social media profile is still not working on personal brand. This is a part of the communication. The work, real work happens is much, much behind with deep research on the person, because what we want is to dig out what is it that you have that is a differentiation tool between what you do and how other people do. What is it that, the skills that you have that you didn't even imagine that you could use in your business to, leverage the interactions that we can use, the ones that we can measure. There is a whole new world when we dig down into the person. And that's why I say all the time, don't do it yourself with your career.
Okay. So I know that like coaches kind of have that thing where I need to get my logo, I need to get my website, and those are kind of things that they focus in on in the beginning. But if they were to take a step back and really focus in on the personal branding, sometimes you don't even really need that website right away or that logo right away, because you can use the personal branding pieces to really get known and to start building some recognition.
Exactly. And even though when I said that it's online and offline, because you cannot separate the human being, okay? So your personal brand will work for you, be it online or offline. So there will be people who will not need something online or too busy online, because online it's important that you have a place online where people can find you pristine like your home. Everything is in place, everything is very well thought, okay? But there are people whose interactions will be more prolific in networking, you understand? But these are the kinds of things that we also dig down when we are building the process to know, okay, you could have greater benefit from working here than on that, so we can manage it, we can balance the way you present yourself to the world, you understand?
Good, I love it. All right, so we're actually coming down to the end of our time. What would you say is a kind of a last tip for our listeners as far as the personal branding?
Once again, I think it's never enough to stress that you are the best career asset you could ever want. You understand? If you work on building trust with people, with your audience, and trust is built when you are coherent in the way you present yourself, once again, offline or online. And this coherence, at the end of the day, is what instilled that trust in people's mind, okay? Because I am always experience Cheryl in the same way. So, because, for example, when you are looking for working with someone or buying a product or service from a brand that you don't know, your natural behavior is to, first of all, ask for your friends or family if they know that, if they recommend that. If they don't know, you go on internet and you search reviews. But be it a recommendation from someone or a review on internet, they were given by other human beings. So you need to focus on human beings, you understand? And your personal brand is what will create that human-to-human connection between your service or your product and the audience you want to achieve. So working on yourself, you already have the best career asset you could ever want in your life.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. And I think it's words of wisdom to really look at ourselves and think about what our personal branding is right now, and where do we want it to go. So thank you so much for joining us today, Danielle. Guys, if you'd like to get in touch with her, we're going to have her website, which is daniellemartins.com, in the show notes, as well as her social media links. And again, thank you so much for joining me, Danielle. And guys, I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.
Thank you. It was a real pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.